Some of the basic ways to be more secure in your technology use is to build up good password habits, to learn about phishing attacks and how to recognize them, and to make sure that your mobile devices are secure. One of the biggest mistakes people make is creating a simple password. Simple passwords can be easily hacked by an attacker. Attackers use tools that guess passwords. They basically guess a random password over and over until they get it right. And using a simple password makes that process very easy. The goal of creating your password should be to make that process as difficult on the attacker as possible. Simple passwords can include phrases like password 123, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Those type of passwords are extremely simple for hackers to figure out and break using the tools that they have at their disposal. Also, just dictionary words, relative's name, favorite sports team, make of a car, all these things are very easily figured out by attackers. There are a few techniques you can use to create good complex passwords. Some of those include using numbers and symbols. You can use symbols and numbers in place of letters, mixing all these up. But the most important feature of your password is the length. The longer you can make your password, the harder it is to break. Do not share your password with other people. Do not use the same password everywhere. And it is better to create a complex password and write that password down and keep it in a secure location than it is to create a simple password. A hacker from anywhere in the world can break a simple password remotely. But if you write a complex password down, they're going to have access to you and that password before they discover what that complex password is. A useful tool is a password manager. A password manager is a piece of software that stores your passwords. You can create complex passwords that are hard to remember and save them in the password manager. That is then secured by a single password that you remember. Since you only have to remember one password, you can make that password complex and hard to guess. Social engineering is an attack involving human interaction, and it usually involves tricking the victim into being less secure, into providing access or information that the attacker needs. Through social engineering, most hackers are trying to do one of several things. They're trying to prevent you from doing your job. It could be a political reason, but most of the time it's for some type of financial gain. They can come in the form of a text message, they can come a letter in the mail, it can be a phone call, but the most common way is through an email. We like to refer to those as phishing emails. The two main things you can do to avoid falling prey to a social engineering attack is one, break your current habits. Get out of the habit of clicking on every link or attachment that you get in an email. Second is to learn how to identify these attacks. An email phishing attack is the most common form of social engineering attack that you might find. It is when the attacker sends an email disguised as a different source, maybe someone you trust, or uses different tactics to get you to click on a link or an attachment that's malicious. In order to become a victim of one of these attacks, you need to take some kind of action. Simply reading your email is actually okay. There's no risk involved in reading your email. The risk comes from when you take action. These actions include clicking on a link, opening an attachment, replying to the email, or forwarding the email to others. One strategy attackers will use is to send an email that doesn't concern yourself directly, but someone you know. You will then forward that email to someone you know because it pertains to them. They are then more likely to open that email because it's from you and someone they trust. There are several indicators of a phishing email. None of these indicators by themselves will indicate that the email is a phishing attack. The lack of these flags doesn't mean that the email is legit. You still have to use common sense. Some of these indicators include, is the email from someone you do not know or someone you know, but the email seems out of character? Look closely at the email address. Is it abnormal or not spelled correctly? Is it CC'd to a lot of people you do not know? Was the email sent at an unusual time? Is the person normally sleeping during the time the email was sent? Is the subject vague or does not match the topic in the body of the email? Is it a reply to something you never sent? This is a common tactic by hackers. If you know, when you get an email reply, you'll see RE colon in front of the subject line. Attackers know this and they'll start their phishing email with the subject RE colon. So that way you instinctively think it's a reply to something you already emailed. Makes you more likely to accept that as a legit email. A lot of these emails encourage you to take action quickly. This doesn't give you time to think about the validity of the email. Did you win something or are you getting something for free? Winning something is a big red flag. You rarely are going to win stuff from an email. Usually you want a chance to get hacked. Is the email referencing a compromising or embarrassing content of you or someone you're close to? Again, this is used to shock the reader. They want to quickly take action because it triggers an emotion. Does the email contain hyperlinks in which when you hover the mouse over the link address, the address displayed is not the address of the hyperlink? Is the address that is displayed misspelled or seem abnormal in some way? In all modern browsers, you will notice that if you hover over a hyperlink, in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, you will see exactly where that hyperlink is going to take you. If that hyperlink is not what the email is showing you, that is a big red flag that this is a phishing email. Also, look for misspellings in that hyperlink that's displayed. Sometimes they'll hide malicious links that look like valid links by simply misspelling the word. Does the email contain an attachment that you did not ask for or not expecting? Is the attachment a Microsoft Office file that is asking you to enable macros? Never enable macros unless you are absolutely sure you know what the macro will do. If you think an email is a phishing attempt, the best thing to do is to simply just delete it. Get rid of it. If you suspect it to be valid, verify the email before clicking. You can call the sender or contact them using another medium than the email. If you're going to verify, never use any content that's within the email. Don't call the phone number that's in the email and don't reply to the address that's in the email. Use an email address that you know or a phone number that you know is valid. In order to secure your mobile device, you want to become familiar with it. It's important that you look and understand all the security features that are available to you in your mobile device. This can vary depending on what brand or what type of mobile device you have. Make sure you take the time to research and understand what security features are available to you and put those to use. One of the most important features is the lock screen. In a mobile device, you must have your lock screen enabled. It is extremely dangerous to leave that unlocked. Your mobile device most likely contains a lot of personal information, including access to your bank accounts, your email, family members, addresses, phone numbers. This sensitive information can be obtained by anyone when this device is unlocked. Make sure that you have a good secure lock on your mobile device at all times.